What up?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing well. I love the Miladies. We have a good representation of Miladies.
Awesome. Yeah, I was a cool cat for a long time, and then just I think when we launched Flaunch, I was like, okay, Milady's on.
You can't be a Launchpad founder with a cool cat PFP.
I still use it in Discord. I got to switch it out.
Okay. Nice, man. So Caps, you're the founder of Flaunch, which is a kind of hard thing to describe, but a launchpad where creators own the revenue and coins are automatically bought back, as well as a permissionless protocol and engine for all forms of tokenization, memes, AI agents, products, art, RWAs, and more. So I think you've been one of the most innovative and kind of feature complete launchpads on kind of the mechanism and tooling side that I've seen. With you have automated buybacks, programmable rev share with creators and communities, fair launches, kind of leaning into mini apps recently. Can you talk about this kind of strategy you're running at of kind of going after breadth versus simplicity that many of the others go for?
Yeah, I think what we've done will eventually become like simplicity. I think it's like we kind of need to educate the market around what we've done in many ways. But to put it simply, we have tokenized income streams for every token. So the three of us, we could create a token and we could split the revenue that we make between the three of us, like in whatever amounts we want. And that just allows for like much more like grassroots formation of coins. CTOs become much more interesting. It's like, okay, let's CTO this coin, but we're actually going to split the revenue between 100 people. And look at some of the bigger coins or like Solana. They can earn sort of like upwards of like 7 or even like eight figures. We were seeing like at the height of the market like last year. It's 8 figures of revenue. It's like huge incentives to pay out. And like the one thing that we do quite differently from every other launchpad is that we pay out just in ETH. So not only do we send all the revenue to creators and the people that split the revenue, but we also send it just in ETH. So you're not having to like dump your tokens to realize like your SOL or your ETH. You're just getting it straight away.
How do you do that? Do you guys just sell the tokens that you earn from fees and distribute in ETH, or what's the mechanism there?
So this is like I don't know how much technical detail you want me to go into, but we built a hook for this, like on Uniswap v4, and it's me and Twade working on it. And we kind of, I think this is, for me actually, it's like a bit of a nerdy thing, but it's probably my like favorite thing that we built because it's so like it solves a lot of problems for different users. So what happens is when you do a swap, the fee is either paid in ETH or token. If it's paid in token, we take that token and we put it into a limit order just above spot price. And when the next buyer of the token comes along, rather than like market buying, they'll first, like in the before swap, check to see if there's any tokens to be bought, and they'll basically buy it over the counter. And so they'll get a better execution price, and then the remaining will get filled on the AMM. So the ETH that's then taken from the buy order then goes to the LP. So the LP never sees it. There's no like market selling of tokens. So it's all like limit orders. So there's no dumping. And yeah, it also means that you don't have like token holders being pissed because like LPs are just constantly dumping tokens that's actually just being sold at spot, just above spot.
Got it.
So
that's very cool.
You're clearly playing in one of the more competitive spaces of the last little while in crypto. And I think there's been no shortages of new launchpads launched on Solana to try to go compete with Pump, or on other chains to try to go compete with Pump. And yet I don't think we've really seen any of them stick or take off. And I think I would describe Flaunch as maybe a baby step away from a breakout. I'm not sure if you've had any coins run quite to the same level as Pump yet. So I'm curious. Do you think that these additional features are the things that unlock some meaningful differentiation here, or is there something? You also sort of mentioned, I guess, education and time. Like what needs to change for us to get a real breakout competitor to Pump?
That's a really good question. So yes, I think it is a very competitive space. We've been working in the industry for like 5 years now, and have like really good runway. So we're going to keep like trying to crack this nut. Like we're going to keep going at it. So we are like iterating the feature set quite a bit. We have like a feature coming up like in the next few weeks that I do think has the potential to really, really like change a lot of opinions about how coins should be formed and how revenue should be shared. And I'm happy to like talk a bit about that. So that's like a major feature release we have coming. I think the other thing is around like distribution. Like I think you guys were chatting before around like the degen mindset and stuff. I think Solana's obviously picked up like a huge degen audience. Ethereum had that in like 2020 with DeFi Summer. Like the degeneracy then was like crazy, but it just never translated into like meme coin degeneracy. And so what we're doing with this feature release is we're kind of bringing meme coins into the DeFi degen umbrella. And so we're trying to create much more like degen a product that fits both like people who want to speculate on meme coins as well as like DeFi degen, so you can want to speculate on yield.
Oh, Josh likes to speculate on yield. So
can you say more?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Like this would be cool to get feedback as well, because I mean, we are building it out, but we're going to get launched within like the next 5 to 6 weeks, depending on like partners. So really the what we're calling is Flaunch groups. And the problem we see is like with all coins that get launched, they're kind of disparate coins. They just like exist. They're like very ephemeral. They just get launched and kind of go away, or they might persist. But then you have like a community that's all around like just number go up. And if the number doesn't go up, the community can kind of start to dissipate. And so what we're looking at is introducing a way of having like coin economies rather than just individual coins, and also unlocking the income side of coins. So if you create a coin, you can add it to a group, and you can add multiple coins to a group, and all the ETH revenue from those coins is shared between the members of that group. And so you can get different yields. And the way we do it is we actually do it through staking. So let's say this can work for any existing ERC20. So let's just say, I don't know, like the cult token for like Remedia Corp, right? You could set the cult token as the staking token, and then you create a group and you add all your like Milady derivatives, all your coins, all your culture, all your apps, games, AI agents, whatever it is, you throw it all into this group, which is a repository of all the Milady culture on chain. And then every single trade, every single bit of fee from that, as well as other things like NFT royalties, if you want to add them in, that all that ETH gets sent and distributed to cult token holders. And so we kind of allow this to unlock for any existing community. Obviously we look at ourselves with like Flay and Flaunchy, where you can just like have this repository of tokens.
That's interesting. So what's kind of the core insight behind it? Is it trying to figure out how to like create these kind of PvE games, or kind of, I don't know, like it makes sense to abstract at a higher level. I think coins are these very ephemeral things, and building kind of more sustainable groups or at a higher abstraction level, I think makes sense. But I'm curious what's the core insight behind that?
Yeah, so I suppose it's a coordination game, right? So currently, like the thing of Zora, like a Zora creator launched a coin. I know they've introduced something to help improve this, but you launch a coin, and that then doesn't reward any of your actual followers as creator, and it doesn't kind of help to coordinate your followers to shill like everything that you're creating. So with a group, you can have this repository of coins. It could be Zora content, it could be meme coins from Flaunch, it could be meme coins from Clanko, from anywhere. You can add it all in, and then you suddenly have a group where the users who have the group coin, like the cult token in this case, they all rally behind whatever's in the repository, like whatever's in this group. And so as a creator, if you're making a Milady derivative or like a Pudgy Penguin GIF, you can tokenize that, and you get the distribution of the group, who's going to be, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of holders who want to see more passive income coming into the group. They will then go out and distribute your coin. And so as a creator, you're going to get a better return because you get better volume from the distribution. And then all these people in the group are going to get paid their passive ETH income. And so it allows like any ERC20 to then become a ETH generating asset.
Yeah.
I kind of talks about like being like a protocol fee switch. You can now switch on a fee for any coin, like regardless of permission. And then you can start tokenizing your culture and your content, and that's going to start driving fees. So we think, it's hopefully like going to hit this in the like, and get the right coordination going between creators of memes and cultures that exist and communities that already exist.
I mean, it's sort of. I think this is very much what Zora creator coins are trying to go do, and so I'm starting to see maybe this trend where the longer term value accrual needs to be at a higher order of abstraction than the individual meme for the vast majority of content or meme coins that come out. Because I think like it's almost like we have all these sort of ephemeral assets, some which we hope some aren't ephemeral and will last for a long time, but I mean, whoever knows. And that actually getting the right amount of attention, coordination, effort over time is kind of the key to success at that layer. So I'm curious if we'll start to see that happening in other places. I guess maybe that's what Pump's doing with their token at the high level, but I think it's far more interesting at a creator or group level.
Yeah. And you can have multiple creators as well, right? So you could have Zora itself could be a group, and we're going to allow for subgroups as well. So like you could have the Zora group, and then like each creator is a subgroup, and then within that they've got their own tokens, and it's all ETH yield that's filtering up through the hierarchy. And then I know with Zora they're kind of looking at the LP side, and they're doing like quote tokens in like creator coins and Zora coins. We've done that in the past with NFTX. It's there are like downsides to doing that, and I think just paying raw ETH yield is like a much better way to do it, and to reward users that way.
I mean, I love that you guys are leaning into the complexity. It's like I think the critique is you guys are too complex, and it's really hard to people great feature set, but like people don't really know what to go do with it. And one response to that might be, okay, cool, we're just gonna go back to the bonding curve and we'll just go compete with try to meet users where they are right now. But it sounds like your intuition is that that putting the effort to go through the complexity and then ultimately simplify it is going to be the thing that actually gives you in a differentiated position. And I think that's really interesting to hear.
Yeah, I think the complexity should be massively reduced with this update. So you come to the site, you can see, oh, there's a group that's paying 100% APR, and it's like, okay, cool. That takes us back to what we all are familiar with. And then you can see, oh, where's the APR coming from? Oh shit, there's like these memes that are kicking off, or there's this like protocol that's sending its revenue to the group. It could be anything, and then you could kind of from that point learn a bit more about how the yield comes in. But yeah, it's all sustainable yield. There's no like token emissions and subsidies. It's all very much like trading fees from everything, protocol fees from other things, and then having that all passed around.
Yes, we were talking a bit about before you came on about the Ethereum Foundation's reluctance to support tokens. I think we talked a little bit about kind of the degen culture that emerged on Solana, and how it's really driven a lot of the success of the products we've seen there. So I'm curious, I guess, how you think about like base culture versus Solana culture, and if you think base needs to attract more of the degen scene for you guys to succeed, or kind of as the space continues growing, more normies come in, there are just kind of new opportunities that emerge that you guys are just going to kind of continue iterating on, and hopefully something sticks that maybe looks like a less degenerate version of what people want to see today.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is outside of our control, and we think base will be a winner, and will like do really well on the distribution side, and so we're going to keep building on base, and like seeing what they're doing with some of their like Coinbase wallet and everything else, like that should be a massive driver of new users. But we also want to, and harder battle, but we also want to like show Solana users that this is like, there is a way to do this. We've got Flash blocks that's coming to Flaunch really soon, right? That's 2 times faster than Solana, like 200 millisecond block time. So it's going to be very, very fast. But then we also allow for like groups to be created around Solana coins as well. So, if you want to actually like create coins for I don't know, like memes like Giga, right? Like they produce lots of content. Why don't we tokenize that? Why don't we actually reward Giga holders by tokenizing all that stuff? And so we kind of think that if we could demonstrate this really well on base, we're going to start seeing like other users from other ecosystems say, hey, this isn't possible in the SVM. We're going to have to like look at how we can use base as well, maybe as Solana. And so, yeah, like that's our approach. We're going to try and ride the coattails of base in some ways for what they're doing on the distribution side, but then also try and create as much value as possible for our users.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, do we have Austin here? We do.
Here, yeah.
All right, Caps, appreciate you jumping on, man. It was really cool I've been watching Flaunch from afar and hadn't got to talk to you guys yet. So really, really awesome to hear how you think about things.
Nice. Thanks for having me. See you
Thanks,
guys.
Peace. We'll talk
Cheers.
soon.
Cheers. See you soon.